Watch out, cause I know the break's coming.
Hey everyone, this is Evan Price with the Dialed Endurance Lab, and today we're going to talk about run speed. So there's a few things to consider with run speed. First, how do I get faster? How do I not get injured? And do I even want to run faster in general? So the first things I like to talk about with run speed are the different types of run speed workouts that are important. Now this always depends on the distance you're looking to race, the type of race, your previous experience, and just your overall tolerance to speed training and running. So first, let's say your goal, you're a young high schooler, the mile and 5K are your two races, even as low as maybe the 800. Let's say that you're a little bit older, just started running, been running for years, little injury prone, and you're going into that half marathon, full marathon range now. Both situations, run speed is important, but how you dose it is crucially different. So when you're young, our tendons are structured differently. They're not nearly as broken down. That coil that our tendons develop that we talked about in previous videos is a good, strong coil. As we get older, that coil loses that elasticity to some extent. There's still a bit of available elasticity, but it is not nearly as much as when we were young. So what does that mean? Run speed relies on this coil. When we're young, you can dose a lot more speed. If you know any high school runners, you probably see they're on the track frequently, they're doing higher speed running frequently. That's because they're able to. So as you get older, how many times a week should I do speed training? Generally, I say if you have not been doing speed training and it is something new into your run training, once a week to start is as much as you should do, okay? You're younger, 3 times a week is very, very possible. Between hills, track work, and tempo runs, you can be running fast 3 times a week. As we get older though, once a week to start with. So, let's say I want to run the marathon. Why do I need to do speed work? If your goal is to beat an old PR, or even just to make the distance feel easier, faster running is more efficient running. It just means you're more efficient when you hit the ground. So, a couple of really easy structured speed workouts I like to go off of and you can branch and develop them from are 3 different types. One, you're working your top end. So that's your anaerobic. Some will consider it a little bit above your VO2 max pace. The second is threshold work, or as I like to call it, over-under work. And your third is race specific. Race specific varies. That can mean mile speed. That can be your 5K, your 10K, your half marathon, even your marathon pace. But it's building that run economy around your specific distance. So first, let's say I want to do, okay, what's a good first speed workout for me if I want to try to PR my 5K this year? A good structure to start with would be, let's say on your speed day, that anaerobic VO2 max day, 5 by 30 seconds. Pretty close to all out, fast. It should feel really hard. Then, minute and 30-second jog or just active recovery in between. The goal is the quality of the speed, not the workout feeling really hard. So when you're training that top end, you always want to have enough recovery to feel okay after each rep. Now, threshold. Let's say we're still at that 5K distance. 1 minute at fast, but not too fast. What does that mean? That means, let's say that your goal 5K pace is 10 minutes. You want to hit 10 minutes each mile. I would say running that over bit, or that 2-minute bit, or 1-minute bit at about 9:30. Now, your over bit, so that's a little bit slower pace. Let's say that you did 1 minute and 1 minute. You could run that at 10:30. So you're dancing between 9:30 and 10:30 off of each minute. Start with 5 repetitions of that. After that feels comfortable after a couple weeks, you build in 6, 7, 8. Once you get to 10 repetitions, you know that you're definitely race ready for that distance. Now your last one is the race specific pacing. This is when it sometimes make it easier to just go to a track. Let's say you want to do 800 repeats or mile repeats. You lock into that goal pace that you have for that 5K and you do 4 by 800 at 10-minute pace. Have your active rest in between. As you get fitter and closer to the race, you shrink that rest in between each speed effort. So those are the three main workouts I like to work from. On your anaerobic days, you can also, let's say you're a trail runner and you really don't like the track or the road, do hills. Short hills that take about 30 to 45 seconds to get up, easy walk on the way back down. Still builds that top end, still builds that ability to run at faster speeds. So the end result, what does speed work actually get me? What it gets you is a more efficient run economy. Run economy is just talking about how efficient your body is at dispersing force when you hit the ground. Dispersing force, creating force, and releasing it to spring you forward. When you become faster, that becomes an easier process. That means that all of a sudden running 10-minute pace doesn't feel so hard. It used to be your threshold pace. Over time, that can build down to where 9-minute pace is now your threshold pace. That's the goal of speed training. Not just to be sore all the time and, get into 3 times a week and all of a sudden you've got a tendinopathy issue and then you're coming and seeing me for an injury. The goal is just to begin to run faster in appropriate doses. So don't take your high school kids run plan and think that you can tolerate that if you just got into running in your mid-40s. Start slow, start small, and then build your speed training from there as your body starts to accept the training. And if you're struggling with it at all, don't be afraid to come and see me or reach out to me at the Dialed Endurance Lab. Hope everyone's doing well. Keep chugging along this winter and keep running those miles. Talk to you guys soon.
Watch out, cause I know the break's coming.